Do I know you? 4 words. That's all it took to destroy him. Ethan Calloway stood frozen in a hospital gift shop 2 days before Christmas, staring at the 5-year-old daughter he abandoned, the one holding a stuffed bunny and humming a church song she learned without him. But it wasn't Ava that made his knees buckle. It was the man standing behind her. White coat, gentle hand on her shoulder, the kind of presence that doesn't announce itself, it just is. Dr. Lucas Hale wasn't trying to prove anything. He didn't need to, because while Ethan had been busy running from responsibility, someone else had been showing up. Every fever, every scraped knee, every bedtime story. Mia Carter, the woman he left bleeding and broken in a maternity ward 5 winters ago, stood there now. Not desperate, not destroyed. Whole. And the daughter who should have known his face looked at him like a stranger and asked the question that would haunt him forever. Do I know you? 30 seconds of silence, 5 years of consequences crashing down in a single breath. Because here's what nobody tells you about walking away. Someone better might walk in. And by the time you realize what you lost, they'll have already built the life you were too scared to fight for. This is the story of the man who ran and the family that learned to fly without him. If you've ever walked away from something sacred or watched someone abandon what they should have protected, this story will break you open and put you back together. Because sometimes God's greatest mercy isn't giving us what we want, it's protecting us from people who were never meant to stay. Hey family, welcome back. If you're returning, thank you, truly. Your presence here means everything. And if this is your first time, I'm so glad you found us. You're exactly where you need to be. This story is going to stay with you. It's one of those that touches the soul. So if it moves you, if you feel it in your spirit, subscribe. Not for me, but because we all need reminders that God's timing is always perfect, even when it hurts first. Let's begin. Snow dusted the hospital windows that January morning in Georgia. Rare, quiet, almost peaceful. Inside room 347, Mia Carter had just given birth. Her body ached. Her heart was full. Ava slept in her arms, perfect and tiny. Then Ethan cleared his throat. "I can't do this, Mia." She looked up, confused, exhausted. "What?" "I'm leaving. Today." He placed divorce papers on the hospital tray, right next to her untouched breakfast, like he was dropping off paperwork at the DMV. "You're leaving me? Here? Now?" He wouldn't look at her, wouldn't hold his daughter. "I'm sorry," he whispered, but his feet were already moving toward the door. "Ethan, please!" The door closed. Mia sat there alone, still bleeding, still in a hospital gown, holding a newborn who'd never know her father. She looked down at Ava and whispered, "God didn't bring you here for nothing, baby. He didn't bring us this far to leave us now." Outside, his car disappeared. Inside, her new life began. 3 days later, Mia moved into her big sister Amara's cramped Atlanta apartment with nothing but a diaper bag and a broken heart. She worked night shifts cleaning motel rooms, flipped pancakes at Waffle House on Saturdays, and stretched dollar store groceries like they were gold. No child support, no weekends off, no safety net. Ethan Calloway changed his number, moved to a new address, vanished like he'd never existed. Some nights, Mia cried in the bathroom so Amara wouldn't hear. Other nights, she was too exhausted to cry at all. Her back ached, her feet throbbed, her faith felt paper thin. Then one night, while feeding Ava on the worn-out couch at 2 a.m., something shifted. Ava looked up at her and smiled. Not a gas smile, a real one. In that moment, Mia heard her grandmother's voice. "That's God reminding you the story isn't over, baby." She kissed Ava's forehead and whispered, "We're gonna make it. I don't know how yet, but we will." If you've ever been abandoned by someone who promised to stay, if you've ever had to rebuild alone while the person who broke you moved on like nothing happened, you already know this pain isn't just Mia's. It's yours. It's ours. And if this story is hitting different right now, maybe it's because you need to hear how it ends. Subscribe. Not because I'm asking, because some stories are mirrors, and this one might be reflecting something you need to see. Year 2 looked like survival in slow motion. Mia enrolled in a nursing assistant program at the local community college, the kind with flickering fluorescent lights, vending machines that ate your dollars, and professors who looked as tired as she felt. She studied everywhere. Parking lots between shifts, laundromats while Ava's clothes tumbled, the back of the city bus while her daughter slept against her shoulder. She failed her first exam, then her second. She cried in her car both times. But she didn't quit. When she finally passed and earned her certification, she got a job offer from the last place she ever wanted to return to, the hospital where Ethan abandoned her. The same hallways, the same elevator, the same room where her world fell apart. But this time, she walked in wearing scrubs with her name stitched on the pocket. She moved into a tiny one-bedroom with thin walls and a heater that barely worked. But it was hers. Ava's crib sat by the window catching morning light. And for the first time in 2 years, hope didn't feel impossible. By year 3, Ava was pure sunshine, curly hair everywhere, mispronouncing spaghetti as biscotti, obsessed with Mickey Mouse Clubhouse. Mia found her people at the hospital. Tanya from Texas with her loud laugh, David from California with his messy divorce story, real friends with real struggles. Then one afternoon, Tanya showed Mia a Facebook post. Ethan, smiling, arm around a wealthy older woman in front of a beach house. He didn't leave because he panicked, Tanya said quietly. He left because she had money. The truth hit like ice water, but somehow it freed her. That night, Mia sat on her apartment steps while Ava slept inside. She looked up at the Georgia sky and whispered, "Thank you, God, for showing me who He really was." The lie had kept her in chains. The truth set her free. Year 4 brought something Mia didn't expect: peace. Dr. Lucas Hale, chief of pediatrics, had been at the hospital for months before Mia really noticed him. Soft-spoken, Tennessee accent, the kind of man who listened more than he talked. He noticed her, though. Her work ethic, her compassion, the way she made scared kids laugh before shots. Ava met him during a staff family day and instantly loved him. "Dr. Lou!" she'd shout every time she saw him in the halls. He always had superhero band-aids in his pocket, just for her. Lucas never pushed, never overstepped. He just showed up. Coffee in the break room. "You doing okay?" when her shift ran long. A genuine smile that felt like safety. For the first time in years, Mia felt seen. Not chased, not fixed, just seen. And slowly, her life stopped feeling like survival. It started feeling like restoration. How many of us are still waiting for someone who actually stays? Someone who doesn't just show up when it's convenient, but when it's hard, when it's messy, when there's nothing in it for them except the chance to love well. If you've been praying for that kind of person, or if you've been trying to become that kind of person, this story matters. And if it's reminding you that good people still exist, maybe you should stay for what happens next. Subscribe, because stories like this don't just entertain, they restore faith. 5 years later, the day before Christmas, Mia and Ava wandered the hospital gift shop, the same one where she used to buy cheap coffee during night shifts. Ava held a stuffed bunny, humming "Jesus Loves Me" from kids' choir. "Mama, someone wants to talk to you," she whispered. Mia turned and froze. Ethan Calloway stood 10 feet away. Thinner, older, haunted eyes locked on the daughter he abandoned. But he went completely pale when he saw who stood right behind her. Dr. Lucas Hale, white coat, calm presence, hand resting gently on Ava's shoulder. The air left the room. Ethan's mouth opened, but no words came, because in one devastating glance, he understood. He walked away. Someone else walked in, and the family he destroyed had rebuilt itself, stronger, whole, and without him. Ava looked up at the stranger and asked innocently, "Do I know you?" Ethan's mouth opened, but nothing came out at first. I was depressed, confused. I didn't know how to... "Do I know you?" Ava asked again, tilting her head like she was trying to place a stranger's face. The question shattered him. He dropped to one knee, tears flooding his eyes. "Baby, I'm your father." Ava looked at Mia, confused, then back at Lucas, whose hand rested gently on her shoulder, steady, protective, silent. Ethan's voice broke. "I left for money, for someone who promised me an easier life. She took everything and disappeared. I lost it all." Lucas said nothing. He didn't need to. Mia's voice was calm, final. "You made a choice, Ethan, and so did we." The past stood there begging, but the present had already moved on. After that day, Ethan unraveled. 2 a.m. texts, voicemails where he sobbed into the phone, long emails begging for another chance. Mia screenshotted everything. Modern survival, American reality. Document first, trust later. 2 months in, Ethan checked himself into a mental health facility in South Carolina. Mia visited once. He sat across from her, eyes red, hands shaking. "Please, let me be in her life." She didn't yell, didn't cry, just spoke the truth. "Your absence shaped her world, Ethan. Your presence now would only confuse it." He finally understood. The weight of walking away doesn't disappear just because you come back. Mia left that building feeling something she hadn't felt in 5 years. Peace. Some people call it closure. Others call it God's perfect timing. Either way, she was free. 6 months after that gift shop encounter, a handwritten letter arrived. Ethan's handwriting. Shaky. Honest. "I'm sorry for everything. I don't expect forgiveness. I just needed you to know." Mia read it twice, then folded it carefully and placed it in a drawer. She forgave him, not to let him back in, but to finally let him go. Lucas became part of their lives, not as a replacement father, but as the man who showed Ava what showing up actually looks like. One Sunday afternoon, the 3 of them walked out of the same hospital where it all began. Ava skipped ahead, then turned back, eyes bright. "Mama, God really did help us, didn't he?" Mia smiled, tears in her eyes. "Yes, baby, he never left us." Ethan froze that day because he didn't just see a child. He saw the family he abandoned, and the one that grew stronger without him. If this story broke something open in you, if you're sitting there thinking about the person who walked away, or the person who stayed, or the version of yourself you're still trying to become, don't let this moment pass. Stories like this remind us that redemption is real, that God sees, that love wins. Subscribe, not because you owe me anything, but because you deserve to be reminded that your story isn't over either, and neither is mine.